My name is Optimus Prime, and you're watching Tales from Teletraan. Hey everyone, welcome back to Tales from Teletraan, the only Transformers podcast that is a Transformers podcast. I have no idea what that means, but it means something to somebody somewhere, and that's all that matters. Joining me tonight is the insatiable Oracle of Dreams and the very special guest star of the evening from parts unknown. You know him as the guy who wears the orange ski mask, but he's my champion and your champion as well. Buttbender Orange.
What is up? Appreciate the intro. Really appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, not a problem. Real quick, let's do what's up, MC DJ? Hope you're doing all right. T-Cog Productions. What's
What's
up?
up?
Trans Aaron 38 and newcomer Golden Hercules
What's up,
98.
Herc?
Oh, Kato sliding into home. He says, I'm just here to see some
Hey,
pots get bent. All right.
word.
So what
What
do you
is
do?
up, big man? Yeah,
What do
what's
you
up?
do, man? How do you do it? And where do you do it at, man? So
Yeah.
give an
All great
overview.
questions. So, yeah, like the name says, Botbender Orange, right? Like, actually, this is a alias. This wasn't the original name of the channel, but after that thing that happened with the witness protect, no, okay. It used to be Agent Orange, because I was like a moniker that I had for a long time when I was gaming, but I just thought that might not be too family friendly if people like looked into it, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change it. And there was a guy on Instagram, this dude named Cryptimus Prime, and he compared me to like Avatar, the Airbender, but he called me like a botbender, and I was like, dude, I'm so going to take that. And then
Nice.
yeah, it was really cool, and I rebranded the channel after that. And so in terms of botbending as a verb, it's pretty much fan moding. But yeah, I just really like the way he put it. But yeah, taking an existing transformer, whether it's just one by itself or multiples, and putting together something that's kind of new, but at the same time kind of old. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like painting almost to me. Yeah, when I look at it, it's like different colors, different materials, and then you kind of put something together at the end. Yeah, and hopefully it looks cohesive and nice.
Yeah, I've seen, man, I've seen I've seen a good majority of your stuff, but
Oh, thanks.
it's always every time, like on your Instagram post or on your YouTube channel or whatever, like you're like, hey man, I found these at this toy store. Wait, I can't wait to see, what I'm gonna do with them. And I hope you're excited or whatever. And it's like you have you have cultivated this idea, right? Where you see something on the shelf and I see something, like I'll see scrap hook and you see 12 scrap hooks and there's a skywarp in there, right? Like I see 12 scrap hooks. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. No, it's it wasn't like always like that though. Like before, I don't know. I think it's like I compare it to like cooking a lot, you know. So it's like
Mhm.
one might go to the groceries and see a bunch of ingredients. And you're like, yeah, those are ingredients. But somebody, let's say, who's been cooking for a while, might see it and be like, oh, you know what? If I put these things together, I can make some type of like sauce or something like that. And it's kind of like that. And it's definitely I didn't expect it, but it's definitely grown over time. And that's pretty cool because practice makes progress, right? And so
Yeah.
yeah. It started as a COVID hobby kind of, and then yeah, it just kind of grew from there. Yeah.
Okay.
So is this so the man, I don't know, dude. There's so many questions and it's like a funnel in my brain right now. It's like every question is trying to get out of my mouth at the same time, right?
Yeah, like I could share some like basic stuff. It's like when I'm doing this, like for instance, I'll actually show you one right now. So this is Soundwave, obviously, right? Of course, it's Soundwave, and he has the little Rumble or Frenzies, whichever camp you belong to, as the pile drivers. Now, obviously, this never happens in the cartoon, but how cool would it have been if like once like Rumble or Frenzy goes in his chest, he gets his like power, you know? Like I'm
Oh,
like,
dude,
dude,
yeah.
why could they
Yeah.
never do that? If Laserbeak went in, like he sprouts some wings and he can fly or something, right? And so that was like kind of like the creative writing prompt I had. And so before I knew that they can combine, I knew that's what I wanted to try. And then after I got them, I realized that there was a 5 millimeter peg on the back of the pile driver. And it was really just kind of figuring out then how do I adhere that to the side of his arm. And then we used one of the parts of the cliff jumper, a bumblebee bazooka. And yeah, same thing for that other side. And that's kind of like how I go about a lot of these things. Sometimes it's based on lore. Sometimes it's based on like color.
Mm.
Sometimes it's based on like requests or just something that I don't know, that I just thought might be cool. And yeah, that's a lot of like what goes into it. A lot of it really starts with the creative writing prompt. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? And then it kind of flows from there. Yeah.
See,
Super
that's
nice of you to say, Kato.
see that's super cool, man. Because the one that always sticks out in my head for you, is you did a Bruticus, and it's the Unite Warriors
Mm,
Onslaught,
right.
and is it Grapple and Road Hauler as the arms or as the legs?
Oh, right. Grapple and yeah. The green one, Holler. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it's just like there's so much. There's so much like color wise. It doesn't feel like it would work because
Right,
there's such a
right,
huge clash of color,
right.
but it works, and
Yeah.
it's
I know what you
crazy,
mean.
dude. It's so crazy. And then yeah, there's like I said, it's so wild because you see fan modes. At least I see fan mode. Like I'll browse Reddit or something and I see fan modes, and it's like, okay, that's cool, you know. But it's like, like you've already said, it's on a whole nother level. I found, like, for you, it's on a whole nother level. I found out that, and this was like 6 months ago, right? How far behind I am on doing fan modes or how my brain works or anything, right? So Soundwave came with that I guess it's like a double barrel gun that's got a hinge on it and you can stretch it out. It's like a rifle, right?
Right.
So you plug that in his back, and then you can plug Laserbeak into the 5 millimeter port, like the blast hole, right?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So I found that out on my own, completely on my own, and I was so stoked. And I shared it in the Discord, and everyone was like, "Bro, you're like 2 years late."
Whoa. Dude, I just learned that literally right now. I didn't know about that. That's cool. That's awesome.
Ah, dude. Okay, well, I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't know. I was glad.
This thing, right?
Yeah. That gun. Yeah. The
Yeah. Oh,
because
wow.
because the way Laserbeak's got that 5 millimeter post,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's genius. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude. Yes, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
Yeah, and so whether like you found it later or not, it's the fact that you came to it, you came to it organically. And I think that's so cool when like organically play patterns kind of develop in your head and you can kind of exercise that. Yeah, I'm all about that, dude. That's fantastic.
Yeah, dude. The play patterns, man. Like, there's so much. Like, dude, it's so crazy. It's so cool. Um, so I guess walk us through your like how you come up with this stuff, because obviously, I mean, I jest, right, when I was like, there's 12 scrapbooks or whatever, right? But like, but when you see something, is it one of
Right.
those things where it's like, okay, he's purple, I need like six other purple dudes, and or like basically, or is it, or does your brain just need it all out in front of you? Is that what it is? Or when you see the
No.
picture, does it automatically click or what?
No, it actually starts from just like one tiny dot that turns to like a lot and it becomes like something. Like sometimes I'll just try to sit there and like just see like, hey, what will just naturally happen. But it's easier, I think, at least for me, where it's like I'll start with something, whether that be like um, colors, let's say, like for instance, like Tarn, right? So
Hmm.
immediately I'm just thinking like, okay, Tarn, there's purple. Brent will probably look cool. And there's some like tread stuff. I was like, yeah, that could look cool. And I'm thinking of like a Skelevor, which is like the purple Paleotrex. Like, I wonder I could do something there, or even like Shockwave. So I just start thinking about it first, not necessarily having like a final form, more like a concept of like, yeah, I think they can, it's almost like accessorizing. Like, you know what, this shirt might go with those pants and those shoes, but I'm not really sure unless I put them on and I kind of model it and I look at it. But in your head, it looks cool, right? And it's kind
Yeah.
of like there as a pile. And a lot of it actually starts like that. And sometimes it'll be like you're grouping them by color, or sometimes it'll be lore, or like even how they're sold. Like for instance, this one over here. This one actually, I'm debuting for the first time. It's a V2 of something that I did before, and it's from the Batropolis set. and I made him this like flag. You know those soldiers that hold flags.
Yes, I've
Yeah,
made
yeah,
that.
yeah. So this is basically from the Metropolis set. I don't know anything about the lore and why they should hang out or whatever, but I know it's sold together, right? And so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I think that maybe I want to try to fuse all of these guys. And so there's those little small dudes on the side forming the arms, and then on the body, it's the two main dudes fused together. And in terms of the flag and stuff like that, I don't know. I just had all these parts left over, and I was trying to figure something out, and it eventually just happened. But yeah, so that's kind of like the creative prompt for that. It's like, hey, they're sold together, so maybe I can fuse them together. But yeah, it always starts with like not always, but a lot of times it's some type of like creative writing prompt that I want to explore, like explore some type of connection that they have and expand upon it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, should have said
Okay.
that from the beginning. Yeah, but yeah, exploring some type of connection, whether it's lore, color, or anything really. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. 'Cause-
interesting that you say. Sorry. That's interesting that you say that because I kind of see some of my own like personal, like artistic, like for those who don't know, I actually do photo manipulations where I
Hmm.
piece different images together and
Oh
create
wow.
a cohesive picture.
Hmm.
So and sometimes I have just a color, but just hearing your thought process is kind of similar to how I do mine. And it's just nice to hear somebody go, I had a color in my head and I wanted to continue with that color. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
good. So I'm not the only one randomly going out of my way to find teal pictures and make a complete teal photo or image. So
Yeah, I think
glad
it's
to
cool,
see that.
100%. Yeah, I understand totally. Yeah, and then sometimes, yeah, I mean, actually, a lot of times, well, I would say half of the time, it doesn't come to fruition. But at least I tried, And then when I make mistakes or I learn something doesn't work, yeah, that's why. You know what? I learned that that doesn't work, so I'm not going to try to combine those flavors in the future. Or maybe I will be when I become more skilled or something. But yeah, definitely.
See, that's what I love about the creative process because whenever I do my customs, it's it's something always completely or my way of thinking is completely different, right? Like
Mm,
I'll see a seeker and I'm like, okay, what are two colors? Green and purple, you
mm,
know? And it's like that would look so atrocious. But
mm,
I'll tear them apart and I'll just start painting whatever. Like the feet will be purple and then the wings will be purple and then everything else will be green. And then when I step back, I'm like, oh, that came out really good. That came out,
mm,
legit. So it's my way of doing it. Like the creative process is just getting in there and just doing it, and I guess like the other aspect to it is with like the airbrush and stuff, I don't have the opportunity. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't have the opportunity to start over, because
right.
once the paint's on there, it's like, okay, I messed up this. How do I fix this by adding more paint? You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like,
right, right.
do I
Yeah.
it's like, do I do a fade on this and do I do like some camo thing on the wings or, because I get stuck with that two color, like mentality or three colors. Like I'm sticking to this.
I
I'm
see.
not
I
adding.
see.
Yeah. It's, it's, it's so cool, man. Like I love hearing, like I think I said this at the beginning, like I love hearing different creative minds and how they flow and how they work and how they
Yeah,
everything. It's always
absolutely. Yeah, it's such a huge space, and everybody gets to kind of exercise that creativity in ways that suit them best. And yeah, it's really, really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Golden Hercules in chat says the fact that you always try and use all the parts from the figures is also great.
Oh, I,
100%.
I hate to disappoint you, Herc. I've been kind of stepping away from that. I mean, most of the time I still adhere to that, but yeah, these days I was like, you know what, dude? I think it just looks better without it. I call it like the nacho effect. What I mean by that is like, I love nachos as much as the next person, but sometimes there's just like too many toppings and it starts compromising the chip and the integrity of what this nacho is supposed to be. And so I'm like, you know what, I could have done without those last couple of things. And so yeah, so I haven't been using 100% in like, you know what, I'll show you one right over here. This is actually I'm debuting this on the channel as well, and this is a Perceptor drone.
Oh,
Um,
Oh,
dude,
cool.
that's sick.
yeah, made with a hothouse, and this one does not utilize the torso for hothouse. I don't know. I just didn't feel like I could try to like figure out in some place and stick it on, but it just didn't feel like it was good. And so we just kind of kept it that way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have this guy and we have his brother who I can't find. I used Magnificus for it, but anyway, he's somewhere. Yeah, but yeah, Perceptor drone.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That looks
Cool.
really, really cool. I
No,
love that. Looks
and
so
I've been
good.
kind of looking through your YouTube channel, and everyone, this is the first time I'm actually seeing his work. So, but I like how you've been utilizing the fossilizers, and I use the correct term. I am very proud of myself. I am
You
not a
did.
Transformers fan.
You did.
Oh,
But I like how you use the fossilizers for like these almost biblically accurate angelic transformers. You know,
oh, thanks.
like I don't know how to explain it, but there was I'm trying to find it right now, and I think it was the
Oh,
Sephir
wow.
Impactor, the
There was a
Seraph
Seraphim like
Impact.
impactor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one was just like it's just amazingly gorgeous. Like it's just kind of a biblically accurate angel if they were Transformers, you know?
Oh, thanks, thanks. Oh, really quick, I was gonna say just a second ago, I saw Big M say that
Yeah.
that their 5-year-old watches my videos, and wow, thanks for letting me know because in my head I always envision people are 13 and up, because that's generally how the content is how it's made. But of course, in my mind, I imagine like what if like I had a niece or nephew who wandered onto this channel and sees this dude like playing with toys. I obviously wouldn't want them to hear something like something that's not appropriate. So I definitely try to keep it mostly G-rated. I think it's most sometimes I'll just talk about stuff in my personal life that might be a little bit heavy now and then, but yeah, I do try to make sure that I don't like swear or say something that's I don't know, too inappropriate or something like that. But thanks for letting me know. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, yeah. But going back to that build that you mentioned, yeah, that is like that's actually one of my favorites because that's really interesting because when Spindle was announced, when I saw that like dinosaur that frill or whatever on the back, yeah, when I first saw that I was like, whoa, those look like feathers. Those look like and so in my mind I was like, I want to do something where those become wings, and that pushed me to kind of purchase 2 of the sets. But yeah, I really like that one a lot. So appreciate you noticing that one. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's totally I don't know, like you can I'm a input can attest to this. I gravitate towards the weird and creepy art. I love odd things and
Hmm.
I collect odd things. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's like the stuff I collect is very fever dreamish and big
Mm,
eyes. Not like Big Eyes, the art movie that was around you know,
It's
a
very
couple
Adams
years ago.
family. It's very Adams family
oh,
esque.
Yeah,
word.
yeah,
Mm,
in that regard, like, there's something off to it, and you're not quite sure what's wrong, but it looks like a
mm-hmm.
normal photo, but something a very uncanny valley, I think, is a good way to
Right,
put it
right.
too, and I like stuff like that, and that Zephyr Impactor was just like it hit all the little notes, it's
Oh,
not that
thanks.
it's
Yeah.
odd, but that there's just it looks so imposing, and that something is just slight just like I could see that being one of the angels that they refer to in the Bible, let me put it that way.
Oh,
Like
yeah. I
like
appreciate
those
it.
wild
Yeah.
weird fever dreamish descriptions of like a million eyes and five
Right.
wings, and I
And
don't
that
know, that I just
impactor's
really appreciate
face.
that.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that, by the way, because that's kind of what I was going for. Because when I looked at Impactor's face, I was like, whoa, he has this really like stern, kind of like dead look about him. So I was like, this is really going to help sell the build, you know? And so yeah, so thanks for noticing that. Yeah, definitely what I was going for. Yeah.
Rudy Rudy Suzu says you really don't see the standard bearers and transformers. Great to see a mod of a soldier carrying the distinctive flag of a unit, regiment, or army. Very unique. What
Hey, appreciate that.
what I really like about that is how right that statement is, because you don't see it, right? And now it's it's kind of like implanted in my brain, right? Like, because when you think like old military armies, there's
Right.
always that one guy carrying the flag, right?
Right.
Rushing
Right.
into battle and everything. And it's always depicted as Optimus Prime with like an American flag or a Cybertronian flag or something, right? But it's like, where does that flag go when he rushes in the battle? You
Right.
know? So yeah, I think Rudy hit the nail on the head. It's something that's very greatly overlooked in Transformers lore. That there
Mm-hmm.
should be like a flag bearer, standard bearer. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's
Um,
pretty cool.
so now I did see one of your videos. Now you correct me, stop me, whatever, right? I did notice that you're supporting a child in a like a third world country or something like that? Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
yeah?
So any type of money that we get from like the ad revenue from the channel, we donate
Yeah.
to organization called unbound.org. And it's like yeah, you can look it up. It's like they check all the boxes. They're really highly accredited and very honest charity organization. And what they do is they don't take your donation and just give it to like that one family. It's put into like a pool so they can create like schools for multiple children, and also not just the children, but it helps out their families as well. And so yeah, somebody I knew back in the day, I don't remember who it was, they introduced me to that. And so my wife and I, we've been like anytime we have something really like special happen in our life, some type of blessing, like I don't know, I'm not Christian, but I just know a lot of stories from the Bible. And
Mm.
one of the stories that they talk about is, sorry, I won't go too deep, but they talk about there was something called manna from heaven, and the people who try to store it, that thing basically went to waste. And so I figure it's good to share the blessings. And so yeah, I'm just blessed to be able to, geek out and put these things on YouTube. And so, any money that we get from that, that's just kind of cream, and so I'm happy to share that. And
That's
yeah, the
so
channel makes enough
nice.
money where we can actually support a child through that. So yeah, I'm super happy about that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, dude, that's legit, man.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my day job, I work nonprofit, so that's nice to hear.
Oh
Like
wow, nice.
you're giving me ideas.
Oh, very cool. And like hey, what's up, Chauncey? And I was gonna say, yeah, for everybody who watches the channel and contributes towards that, it's like, it's like it's like adding droplets of water. I mean, it may seem like it's nothing, but dude, you get enough of those. That's a cup, that's a bucket, that's a gallon, and the
Mhm.
people who benefit
Mhm.
from that water, we'll never see them. We'll never see the person whose thirst is slaked. Is that right? Is that the right word? Anyway, whose thirst is quenched, and we'll never see the crops that grow from that water. We won't, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to happen. And so yeah, everybody who watches and everybody who has to like sit through the 5-second ad and skip, it's like, yeah, you should know that we're really making a difference, whether you think so or not. It's truth.
No, and you're totally right because I have to point this out to a few people when they want to donate like canned goods to their local food bank. It's easier to give a monetary gift to places like this
Mm,
because they have the purchasing power to buy things at a steep discount. So it's
right.
actually much more economical for the food bank to actually have someone give a donation versus giving them a can of beans that's going to, you know, go out in the next couple months. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
what they end up doing is actually purchasing the items when they have a larger giveaway, lack of a better term, when they start giving out their purchased items. It's easier to have recently purchased shelf stable items and food that they've gotten at an extreme discount versus having to go through once a month and get rid of all the cans that have expired and wasted that way. So
Right.
I always like pointing out that you made a big point, and that program too, when you give the monetary donation, they probably already have people on site in the ground where they have facilities ready with their purchasing power to actually build these things, have discounts on lumber and stuff like that too. So
Right.
just
Exactly.
no, I have to do my nonprofit spiel for a little bit.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
No,
Uh,
but oh, go ahead.
oh no. I was just gonna say, yeah, it's cool that we're all here like sharing kind of like a very positive vibe, and yeah, I can respect that. And so thank you so much. That's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, man. I my channel has always been um like very open, like very, you know, basically like a free speech kind of channel, right? Like
Mm,
come in, agree with me, disagree with me, whatever, but we're gonna talk. We're not gonna be like, I'm not gonna call you stupid because you don't believe or see it my way and vice versa or whatever. It's gonna be an adult conversation. We're gonna sit down and just talk. And like I said, the chat is always open. If you disagree with me, say you disagree with me, tell me why, and we'll have a conversation about it. As best of a conversation that we can have, because I'm it's my voice and versus text and stuff like that, right? But uh
yeah, 100%. Speaking of disagreements, you know what? Most of the time, like when people do have like, let's say, I don't know, just like negative feedback. Most of the time, I would say that it's been okay. But man, as I guess the channel's been growing, I've been really surprised at like some of the vitriol that's been like thrown at me,
Have
and
you
mhm.
been
like, What's that?
Oh, have you been getting those people? How dare you rip apart these figures? They could be worth something. Because
Yeah, or something like that, or they'll just be like, "Hey, I think this," like, you can say that what I built is not nice, but then the way they say it is just like they're saying it in very, very like hurtful terms, you know. And when I
Yeah.
see that, just like, oh wow, it really, really hurts me inside. I mean, not because what they're saying to me. I'm like, wow, if something like fan moding a toy is like really, really triggering you, like, wow, you must have a lot of bad things going on in your life, you know, that you can't sit and just enjoy, you know, just people playing with toys. And I feel extremely bad for those individuals. And I don't really engage in, you know, conversation afterward because, you know, that's just kind of exacerbating the situation. I do block them though, because like I don't need them coming in and kind of like messing up the vibe and the environment. I mean, so
Yeah.
blocking, you know, they can still see your content. They just can't engage with the people on the channel and stuff. But yeah, I'm really surprised actually by the amount that I see. And I have the settings set so that usually when there's some type of word, like it just won't show up. But yeah, I feel really bad that that they're going through such stuff like that, and I hope things work out for them. Yeah.
I
truthfully, it's
think
not just within the community either. Like in the Monster High community, there's a lot of people who fuss at the customizers there for
Oh.
taking one of the rarer Monster High dolls, but it's the one that fits their vision of what they want to work on.
Oh,
And
I
taking
see.
that rare doll and unrooting the hair and painting certain parts and completely destroying the doll. There are people who will sit there and like negative, like report their videos and stuff within the Monster High community. So don't feel
Oh
bad
man.
like when it happens to you, because it's just like it's so endemic at the moment.
dude,
Mhm.
that's kind of become, the internet as a whole, right? It's not,
Mm.
you know, I appreciate the fact that you're out there trying to make it as positive as a vibe as possible.
Right,
You
right.
know, you're trying to cut out like your own little corner and you know, tuck as much positive vibes away as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, you know, without the mask in my real life, it's like, yeah, of course, there's a bunch of like negative and nasty things that happen. It's just like, but you know what? When I'm on the channel and doing the bot stuff, that stuff doesn't need to be there, you know?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
absolutely. I totally get that. 100% get that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Can I share a couple of other things that I built?
yeah, man,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
this
blow
is
you up again.
speaking of fossilizers. So we have Optimus Primal when
Like,
he's wearing like this Paleotrex harness.
oh,
I was
that's
watching Planet of the Apes, and I was like, dude, I gotta make some, I gotta make some armor for the monkey dude. And so, yeah, one whole Paleotrex on him, and I thought this was very, very cool. And so,
so cool.
whoa, Timbo, good friend to the channel. What's up, Timbo?
Welcome in, Timbo.
Yeah, so this is Paleotrex obviously on Optimus, and this pairs up with Paleotrex on Megatron as well. And the theme for Megatron obviously is, you know, Tyrannosaurus with the Tyrannosaurus, and so he has this kind of like bone armor harness in the front. And
Yeah, that reminds me of Armada, Galvatron, and Tidal Wave.
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. He's around here somewhere, which is a gift actually recent from one of the friends of the channel named Punchy. Yeah, very nice guy. But yeah, so this is one of my favorite builds actually. Yeah, Megatron in you know, and what's cool is the Beast Wars Kingdom Megatron doesn't have 5mm ports like you know, the other War for Cybertron stuff. So to get this, I'm all getting hype right now. I'm all like spitting in my mask. Like to get this to like work. It required some creativity, and so and it's like, you know, it's, dude, this is not coming off, you know, in there like swimwear, it's not coming off. And so like a lot of it is just, it works on like wedges in here, and also like the stuff that holds his waist in the back. And I don't know, I can go on and on about this one, but yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Oh man,
Uh,
feel free, dude. Go on and on.
dude,
Take a
oh,
trip.
so I made this one because Input, I remember we were talking, and you had mentioned Skywarp as being one of your faves, and so this one is Skywarp in, or sorry, Shattered Glass rather.
Yeah.
This is a Shattered Skywarp and Shattered Glass Jetfire,
Oh,
and so I know he
dude.
has a tiny head on him, but the whole thing is like, this is kind of like a visor scope thing that that helps him aim, whatever, and he's in this giant armor suit, yeah, which I think is
Dude,
really, really
that's
cool.
sick, man. That's sick. I love the fact that you turned that Jetfire mold into a mech.
Thanks, thanks.
It's so cool, man.
I'm trying to remember which one I
Absolutely.
fused them with first, and I think it was Ratch. Ratchet maybe, just because you know, the siege Jetfire just being red and white, and
Mhm.
yeah, and after that I was like, oh dude, I want to keep doing this, and so I kind of followed that theme, and yeah, I did a lot of other mashups. Oh, this is another one that I made to debut on the channel. Probably a V3 version of something that I made before, and yeah, so you can take
Cool.
one shockwave and two brunts, and this one obviously is a Galactic Man and Centurion drone, but it uses 100% of the parts. This one I'm very pleased with. Yeah, he's very cool to look at, and I
That's
feel like it.
almost that's almost like power armor for Shockwave.
Right, exactly. Like it's just
Yeah.
kind of like flying on, you know, and yeah. So this one, very pleased with this. Um,
I've got to say, man, I've got to say there have been moments where because of you, legitimately because of you, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go buy another brunt. I'm gonna go buy another cog. I'm gonna go buy another. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just kind of mess around and see what I can do on my own, and then I'm just like, okay, I suck at this, and I just I got like 3 cogs in a box. You know what I mean?
you know what I do that really helps is like I build other people's stuff all the time. Yeah, especially like when I see stuff and I just can't figure it out. I'll sit there and I'll just build whatever they built, you know. And it's almost like recreating a recipe, and you're like, oh, so that's how you made that bolognese sauce. Like, wow. And after you do that, you can start incorporating it into like what you do as well. You know, I mean, I don't like rip it off, but I'm like, oh yeah, I remember he or she used this type of like engineering, and I'm like, oh, I see. And so yeah, that's one of the things that I did. I don't do it as much now, but then yeah, early on, whenever I would see there's this really big what is it, Facebook influencer by the name of Dame Choke, and
Mm,
Dame Choke's really been helpful for the growth of the channel, because ever since they started showing my videos on their feed. You know, they have like over 100,000 what is it, followers. Yeah, the channel actually spiked up, and so I'm really grateful to that person, and also like T Formers. But yeah, I saw a bunch of fan modes on Dame Choke's page, and I just tried to replicate them, and sometimes I couldn't. But yeah, that really helped me a lot. Yeah, so I encourage it. Like, you know, sometimes people ask me like, oh, like I want to be able to like kind of build stuff like you. And I'm like, well, just build my stuff then, you know, just see what I do. And then over time you'll be able to build your own. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed you had some tutorials on there, how you built them. Like,
Oh
I,
yeah.
to be fair, I haven't really watched any of it just because I just found out about we were interviewing you today, so I apologize.
No, totally cool.
But I see you have a lot of tutorials up on how you build a few of these things. So I mean, it's very fair for you to say, like, hey, go check out the tutorial videos, figure out how I
Oh yeah,
disassembled this,
yeah,
and go, start creating your own. I mean, that's how I
yeah,
learned how to do my art, was just learning from tutorials. What effect do I want to put in this photo manipulation that I can do in Photoshop? And then I
right,
do
right,
a
right.
tutorial, and then I make it work for that image. So, and I always make it a point, every piece of art that I do, I want to learn something new and use a
Mm,
tutorial for that, so that way I
right.
can build as I'm creating and
Yeah.
build my skills while I'm creating. So
Yeah, definitely. 100%, you know. Sometimes like standing on the shoulders of giants will help you get ahead, but of course, always got to respect, you know, the people who came before me. And so I wish I knew these people's names, because several years ago when I started like really kind of emulating what they do. But I agree with you 100%. Yeah, emulation is the highest form of flattery, and I hope these people feel flattered. But yeah. Can I show you another build?
absolutely,
This
man.
this one is really simple, but you know, if you watch, I think is it Energon, the one where Megatron has a tank Megatron like as one of his sidearms. I think it's Energon,
Yeah,
right?
it's Energon because he's a jet in that one. Like a yeah.
Right. And so that's basically what I wanted to make, but using the core guy, you know? I was like, I think it could be done. I think it could be done. And so using the core Megatron, if you have the Earthrise, or because this is the Earthrise mold, you can basically create that same type of configuration on the shoulder. And it looks really cool when you have it on shattered glass, because you know that one's supposed to kind of look like Energon and stuff. And then of course, because they're the same guys, the color palette that Hasbro uses is identical. So when you look at it, it feels very cohesive, almost as if it was kind of designed to be like this. And so yeah, I think that's one of the cool things too. You make it look like, yeah, it was kind of meant to be that, you know, it's kind of meant to look like that. And
Yeah, because
Whew.
as soon as you pulled him up, I was like, "Oh, dude, that's shattered glass. That's that's legitimate shattered glass. Like the silhouette You know,
Right,
with the
right, right.
giant tank on his arm and everything, dude. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I get ultra hype, honestly. Like when I'm recording my videos, like I will start drooling because of how excited I am. And so there's a lot of times on the video where I'm just like, or like just sucking in my drool because I get seriously so excited when I'm doing this stuff. And
Dude, there are times where right before we leave the house, I'll get I'll get a notification or I'm about to close out YouTube or whatever. Like I'm just watching something while she's getting ready or whatever, right?
right.
And I'll start scrolling through and she'll come out of the room and, are you ready to go? And I'm like, yeah. And I stand up and I see one of your videos. I'm like, hold on, give me like 5 minutes. You know?
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah.
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 I usually have a crochet project I'm always working on, so it's not like it's wasted time while we would be
Okay.
there. So
No, it's super cool. Super cool. Yeah,
Now I got
love this stuff, and that's why I do it like every day, And like I have like tons of content in queue because sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll just pump out like 3, 4, or 5, and I'm like, well, that's a week worth of content. And I was like, okay, and so yeah, they're just everywhere, all around me.
you got any plans to do a Titan anything?
I've created like gloves for Metroplex. For I've created like using Brunt because I paired them. I paired a 6 gun with a Metroplex and made the gauntlet out of the 6 guns.
Mm.
I gave Triptychon bigger arms using Brunt because obviously they pair together. I don't remember if I did something with Cog with Fort Max, but yeah, just only accessories. I haven't really built anything from the ground up that's like Titan scale. Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
I will, but that would be quite the Everest to climb. Yeah.
Hey, I'm along for the ride, man. I'll be the cameraman. You know what
Right
I'm
on,
saying?
dude. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, dude. Oh, can I show you another? I made a couple of other things, and some of
Yeah.
them are repeats from the channel. And this one actually doesn't take up too many parts, but it's really what you're able to accomplish out of it. Like this kind of looks like like Fat Boy Power Master Optimus Prime, And so the core of this inside, this is the 10 seg Optimus Prime that came with that weird anti-gravity stand, and it thanks him the 6 gauntlets, yeah. And the shoulders over here, these are from Galaxy Prime, and the forearms and the legs are from Shattered Glass Prime, and these pipes are from Red Cogs, and these are from like all different places, but when they come together, yeah, they make this great dish, and it's very very reminiscent of Power Master Prime, and so this is like my official Prime that's on my shelf right now, and so this is really really cool, and so I enjoyed making this one, and not that much effort, yeah, not that much effort.
That's pretty
I
sick. Did you custom paint the legs? I thought I
No,
saw some
these
silver
are
on the
from
side.
Shattered Glass Magnus from the Delta Magnus that came out. Oh no, no, sorry, sorry. They're from Galaxy Universe armor. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
was
yeah,
just
so
gonna
on this book.
say real quick, I love your analogy with cooking because I never used it. I never really used cooking as an analogy for any of my artwork, but hearing you talk about that,
Right.
it's just like it's like a very refreshing take
Oh,
on
thanks. It
the
makes sense
creative
though,
process.
right?
Yeah, it
Yeah, yeah,
does. It
yeah, yeah,
does.
yeah. And so I like cooking shows too, and like my wife likes to cook, and so I'm like, yeah, you know what? This all is kind of in the same space, and yeah. There's another one that I like to show you.
Yeah.
And this one, people said it was kind of sus just because the way Bombshell is set up.
Yeah.
But in terms of what I'm going for, I like what I achieved. He's just kind of like kind of gives it this medieval look with these shoulder pauldrons, and then he's brandishing these like really really big swords over here. And yeah, despite the way the config is, it's cool that it's an Insecticon armoring up like another Insecticon. And yeah, and so the way this one connects is it's I use the thighs from this one called Skelevor, which is a purple Paleotrex, and just the thighs because they basically worked out as the tape or the binder, glue or whatever. And so yeah, so this one's very very cool. I like this one a lot as well. Um,
Honestly, I didn't even notice that. I mean, I saw like Bombshell was upside down and stuff, but
right.
the gray, because of kickback space,
Mm,
the gray just kind of bleeds into everything and it kind of vanishes
mm-hmm,
on the figure. It just kind of
mm,
looks like he's got giant shoulders or something.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's definitely like how I want the recipient to kind of like feel. And I don't know. A lot of times I like to think of it as like art because when you look at it, you have interpretations on it, And
Yeah.
sometimes when I make this stuff, I actually want people to feel a certain emotion, whether it's like horror or whether it's like just makes you contemplate why I made this or something. And so there is also the kind of emotional aspect. And sometimes it's there will be somebody who will just give me a prompt. Like recently, there's this cat named Diecast Norbs, and I had done a fast track build, or sorry, an Astrotrain build using 2 fast tracks to make an upgraded locomotive. And he said, "Can you do something with the jet mode?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to try the shuttle mode." And so made this, and this is like a spruce goose, kind of like giant
Yes.
jumbo jet with Astrotrain, and very, very, very pleased, you know. And I toiled at this one a little bit because I wanted to make it happen, and I felt that it could happen. Because when he proposed the prompt, the first thing that I thought was got to make a wing somehow, and that thing immediately came to mind. Which is this is kind of like the spear that they teach you how to make using fast track for Scorponok.
Right.
And so yeah, I would say 90% of this happened really fast, and this part took forever for me to figure out because I didn't want to use another fast track, but I wanted to make the back fins, and so that took a little bit of time. But ultimately, very, very pleased with how
See,
this one
what's
came
cool
out.
about that, what I like about that is I can definitely see Scorponok in trouble, and then Astro Train is basically flying in to help drop off troops to help fight the
Whoa!
headmasters off, you know? And then
Right.
so when he's up in the air, they just kind of they disembark off of him, and those
Whoa!
2 or 3 or whatever that are on him combine midair and then land, and they just start helping
Dude.
Scorponok wreck shop, right?
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
all this stuff I love, you know, when people create stories, I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Like, yes. And so yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Blue Raccoon wants to know. He says, "Hey,
Hey.
Orange, did you do a combiner with Star Saber and Earthrise Optimus?"
Yeah, you know, I tried, but you know, that space is a lot smaller than I thought. And so in there I've been able to fit like half of Huffer, and also just the top of Star Saber. But man, for a Voyager, it's been kind of tough. I've been trying to mess with the prime that's inside what is it? The Titan's Return prime, you know, I think it's from Titan Returns or Power of the Primes. Maybe it's Power of the Primes, but it's tough. That space is pretty limited. I definitely want to put a prime in there. You know, I feel like it'd be so appropriate. But I'm gonna
Are you
try to
talking about
figure it out.
the Evolution Prime with Orion Pax and stuff?
No, it was from the previous line.
The Titans Return. Okay.
I think it was Titan's Return. I'm trying to see if I have him over here, but yeah, but and he was repainted a Star Convoy. I don't remember which line that's from.
Oh yeah, that was
But
Power of the Primes. Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, I tried using that guy because you know he's a little bit slimmer and he's a little bit more modular. But even him, yeah, I even like tried removing the legs and stuff. And yeah, it was tough. I would love to do that though. Yeah, yeah, you and me were thinking the same. Yeah.
And dude, that man, like I said, anything that you do, I look forward to it. You can just ask Oracle. Just ask
I
like,
appreciate it.
I'll thumb through Instagram or something. I'll just flip through, and then I'll just be like, "Oh my god, he did this purple thing," or like this green thing or whatever.
Oh, there's actually one other thing that I can show you as well.
Yeah.
This I'm particularly proud of, and this is the one that I think that I have the most views on YouTube. And this is Soundwave, but you can see that he's pile driver powered up, and these are actually from the Masterpiece tapes. And so
Oh,
I'm going to tell you something weird right now. It's sometimes sometimes I know this sounds weird. Inspiration comes to me from this being called Toy God, and I'm not kidding. And I was just walking by my desk, and Toy God told me to grab the pile drivers from the Masterpiece tapes and put them on the War for Cybertron one. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" But I did it, and I found out that like you know this tape over here, which is from the War for Cybertron line, the leg it just slides into the pile driver, and it's like a perfect fit.
oh, dude,
And
that's
so
sick.
after that, I was like, "Oh my god!" And then you know that little peg that's on the Rumble or Frenzy figure, you can put on the arm, and dude, this is the way he should be powered up, you know. And
Yeah,
yeah, so this is inspiration from Toy God. Yeah, people think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Yeah. And so yeah, so really really stoked about that one. Yeah. And let's see. There's other stuff that I made. You know what? I'll show you this one. This is Red Cog, And this is just like playing with colors, and he's wearing the Galactic Man Shockwave armor basically as his boots, but it creates this kind of like weird giant like hoof motif if you look at it, and so
Yeah.
it kind of makes you just kind of think when you look at it, but it looks still cohesive because there's the black and the gray and the red, and so yeah, so this one's pretty nice too. I mean, they don't really pair in terms of lore or anything like that, but just in terms of color, I don't know, I think it works quite nice. Yeah.
No, that's
So,
really cool, man. It's like it's almost kind of it's got like a demonic kind of feel to it
yeah.
with like the hoofs and stuff, like the way it's
Yes, yes,
shaped and
yes.
everything. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I dig that. I dig that. I can definitely see somebody, like like in the Sea of Rust or something that shows up
Mm.
to kind of claim their spark or something.
Mm.
Like it's kind of a jumbled together thing that's
Yeah.
been painted up. Like it repainted itself at some point or something crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like I'm such a huge fan of this stuff. It's I hope Hasbro keeps kind of leaning in and kind of investing into this. Like when they went with Legacy, um, they stepped away from fossilizers, but they put a lot of time into the accessories. And I started noticing that the accessories had a lot of like ports and pegs
Mm.
that could use as like connectors. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I was very happy to see, when they announced that the Junkions basically, and I was like, oh wow, they're kind of leaning into this. But now Scrapbook is an interesting figure in that he's less like the other guys that have been. I wish I had him over here, but he's less like the other guys that have been released, and he looks more like um, he's like a vehicle parts former, kind of like a build former,
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's really really interesting, and I can't wait to see the other guys that come out. But one thing that I wish that they'd made is a rack and ruin that you can essentially take
Oh,
apart and they become like different weapons and stuff just because of the way the figure is kind of made. And I was like, dude, that's money on the table, Hasbro. Like you
yeah.
should have been doing that. But yeah, I hope they do that one of these days. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I did a custom rack and ruin out of
Mm.
oh what is it? The Ironworks. I used two Ironworks
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
and I 3D printed the piece that goes in between them.
Oh, cool, cool. Like a male to
And
male connector, basically.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And I just painted them all green and stuff.
Oh, sick.
But I remember the guy who commissioned the piece. I was like, dude, this is on the table. This has to be on the table at
I
Hasbro,
know,
like
right?
somewhere in the designer binder or something. This has to be, and I'm still waiting to see one from them, kind of
Right.
using the fossilizer gimmick because I thought the weaponizer thing was over
Mm,
after Kingdom, after Siege, and after all of that.
right,
I was like, they're not going to touch this anymore
right.
because it's that gimmick, it's like for that line, like that line's gimmick, those three
Yep.
lines or whatever. But yeah, they're doing scrapbook and stuff, and so I was like, kind of gave me more hope that we would eventually see a rack and ruin, especially since they did the wrecker set for
Yeah,
Amazon and stuff like
exactly.
that.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
excited to see all the new releases, And so, yeah, I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped.
yeah. Well, man, before we jump out of here, anything that you want to shout out, anything that you're doing, and give them the name of the charity and everything
Oh,
one
yeah,
last
yeah.
time in case they're interested in it and looking it up and stuff.
Yeah, Buttbender Orange, primarily that's the YouTube channel. I'm on Insta and TikTok under the same name, but to be completely honest, those are more like marketing platforms that I use to drive people to YouTube. And yeah, beyond that, of course, unbound.org, unbound.org. And yeah, they help do charitable works for impoverished children and families across the globe. I also support something called Kiva, and it's like microloans that you give out, and you help fund people's like they're small businesses that use that money, and then it comes back to you, and you can kind of like relend it. But once you put that money in, you can't take it out. So it's kind of in this closed ecosystem. But it kind of anyway, it works out. But yeah, Kiva.org. Um, I don't know, and that's it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Um, well, man, as always, I want to thank you for coming on. Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
and I want to say thank you to everyone in chat who was in chat. I want to say thank you to everyone who watched. Just listen, put it on the TV while you make dinner, whatever, all that awesome stuff. And as always on Tales from Teletraan, the guest always closes out the show. So you got anything that you want to tell the world out there, positive message, whatever it is, whatever you want to tell the world, man, let them hear it.
People who I found that people who usually feed you and spend time to make that food or feed you typically are ones who love you. So that's a secret that I found out way too late in life. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.